2019 is the year I pledged to play through the Castlevania franchise and record my journey through these vlogs, culminating in one big video review at the end. Here's the fourth entry where I take a look at Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Castlevania Diaries. Today let's talk about Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse and why you're gonna hate me by the end of this video, because I did not like it. Going into each of these games, I have to gauge expectations, not just of my own, because I have very little reference for the Castlevania series. You know, in the last video I talked about Castlevania 2. That's probably the only game I had a preconceived notion of what it was. But all the other games, I'm going in pretty blind. And oftentimes, a lot of you guys and friends who played this will often give me kind of a heads up of, oh, you should do this or you should expect this, right before I get into it. So Castlevania 3 was one of those games where after I finished the first one, everyone said, you got to play 3 next. It's basically the same mechanics as 1, but better. Yes, it's the same mechanics as 1, but definitely not better. From a design perspective, does it take the game into a new direction and grow upon the first one? Yes, absolutely. Do I like it? No, not at all. Now, I had watched the Netflix series of Castlevania before getting into this whole crazy review the whole franchise idea. So I was really excited to get into Castlevania 3 because the Netflix series is based on this game. So going into it, it started off pretty good. But you know what? I think the point where I started hating it was I went into the clock tower, if I recall right, as my first. So this game has branching paths, which is a cool new mechanic that they added, and it really adds extra layers to the game. So while I did beat Castlevania 3 quite a little while ago, like maybe a month or two, it took me a lot longer to make this video because I had to go back and play all of the other levels that I hadn't beaten. So that is really great, especially when you think of an old game like that came out, I think, in the early 90s. Having that much replay value was incredible. And this game actually has you have 4 playable characters outside of just the Belmont character that you can whip things with. You know, you also got the mage, which I hated. You got the monkey dude, the hunchback. Honestly, that's not who he is, but I don't know. He can like climb stuff. Didn't like him. And then you have Alucard. Alucard was worth the visit. So in my first playthrough, I got the monkey dude, and then I switched out the monkey dude for the mage, and then I never played as her for the rest of the game, and I just finished as the Belmont. So that clock tower. Okay, so this entire game actually relies a lot more on platforming. And my God, was that a mistake, because Castlevania mechanics do not lend themselves well to platforming, at least not in the 8-bit era. I don't know if they got better later, I really hope so. But in Castlevania 3, you're expected to do a lot more platforming with these really tight constricting mechanics, and it's just so frustrating. There's so many times I died because I couldn't move my character properly, or I had just finished a jump and a stupid bat hit me and I flew back into the hole, or I didn't even realize it was a hole because I didn't know where to go because the stairs looked like rocks and then the hole looked more inviting or something. So overall, Castlevania 3 to me was probably my most frustrating experience all the way through. Castlevania 1 was enjoyable until the end, and then it got frustrating. Castlevania 3 was mostly just frustration through the whole thing. And then when you're the monkey dude and you have to go all the way back down the tower, like that's just not interesting. You're going right through a level you just went all the way up for. So that was not fun. Were the ideas introduced in Castlevania 3 interesting? Absolutely. Absolutely. Were they executed well? No. Just no. And the bosses are ridiculous. Now, I know I said in my Castlevania 2 diary or vlog, I don't know why I'm calling these diaries. It's kind of weird. What was I saying? I was saying the bosses had gone in a direction that was too easy in Castlevania 2. Well, holy shit, it's like someone went to the future, saw that vlog, went back to the past and say, let's crank it to 11 in Castlevania 3, because the bosses are ridiculous. Their patterns, I'm pretty sure there were some that were almost unavoidable, or at least I didn't play them enough to find out what the pattern was to make them unavoidable. And to make it even worse, oftentimes you have to fight multiple bosses like at once. Like I remember there was this one boss round where there's like 3 sarcophagus I don't even know if that's how you say the plural of sarcophagus. We're gonna say it is. And after you beat the first one, another boss comes out and another boss, and it's just like, are you freaking insane? It takes 4 hits to kill me, and you expect me to wail on 3 bosses that take like 20 hits each and not get hit 4 times? Now, I was using save states because I only had 1 health point left. So a lot of times I had to beat these bosses without getting hit at all, which made it even that much more difficult. But holy shit, this game was just really, really difficult. And then I don't know, after I beat it the first time, I tried to play it on hard mode because, you know, in Castlevania you restart at the beginning with everything harder because that's what people like to do back then. I couldn't make it like past the second stage, even with save states. It was just ridiculous. Oh my god, and in those vertical stages, they put so many more flying enemies, it's almost humanly impossible. Like, I get it. Some of you have done this without save states. You did it on your original NES, and you're pros, and I commend you for that. Like, you're a way better gamer than I am, because I just can't. I can't do it. Now, when I went back shortly before making this video, and I took all of the different paths, which took me to Alucard because I wanted Alucard. Alucard plays really cool. I have to say that guy has way more fun mechanics. So as you upgrade, you know, you get these fireball things that you can shoot, and then you can fly around as a bat, which completely kind of changes. So, you know, I was complaining on the platforming. Well, when you can turn into a bat and fly around, it completely gets rid of the whole platforming problem. So that's why I liked Alucard so much. However, if you go the Alucard route, you end up doing like pretty much a whole piece of game that's completely designed around Alucard, because I'm assuming it's because his mechanics are so different than the other 3 characters. They needed levels that were designed specifically for him. So you end up doing this whole different path. There's some bullshit stuff in there. But overall, Alucard was a pretty fun playthrough. Honestly, I don't remember too much about the ending of that. I might have to watch my stream again. I just remember a lot of frustrations, and when I finished it, I was relieved. I was just relieved because now the 8-bit Castlevania saga is over. I have one more left for the Game Boy, which is Castlevania Adventures 2, I believe. So I'm halfway through that. And that's going okay, but it's still old Castlevania. I want to get into the 16-bit stuff. That's usually the good stuff. That's when developers had enough experience to take all of their ideas from the 8-bit, and now they had more resources to expand upon it and refine their formula. So I'm really hoping Castlevania evolved a lot during the 16-bit era. So I'm really looking forward to playing pretty much all that. I don't know if this all counts for 16-bit era, but there's Castlevania 4, really looking forward to that. There's Castlevania, the one on Genesis, I forget what that one's called. Then there's Rondo of Blood. I know that's not quite 16-bit, but I'm going to bin it all in that same era. And then there's Symphony of the Night. So those are the next 4 I'm going to be tackling, and I am really looking forward to seeing how the series evolve, and hopefully it's good. And after that, we'll see where we go from there. I'll see you next time, and until then, keep it classy.